Hi guys, welcome. So today I'm sharing 3 ways that you can improve your downward facing dog in just 5 minutes. Hi, I'm Claire from Clare's Yoga and I teach embodied yoga flows, helping people get out of their minds and into their bodies. One of the most common questions I get asked is how to do a correct downward facing dog. Spoiler alert. There is no correct way to do this pose. It really honestly depends on respecting your own unique body and how your anatomy is built. That being said, I want to share 3 tips that I often share with my students, and hopefully they're going to be helpful for you to get into the alignment that works for you and your body today. Let's get started. So my first tip would be, in order to get the correct distance from your hands to your feet, is to just start in child's pose. So let's go to the mat. Bring ourselves into child's pose. So taking our knees out wide, feet come together, relaxing our bum back to our heels. Forehead can go down to the mat. Let's just take a few breaths here. Grounding in. And from there, just gently lifting up the head. Weight goes into the hands, tuck under the toes, lift the bottom up to the sky, and we're in our downward facing dog. And this just gives you the right distance from your feet to your hands. That would be my tip number 1. The second tip, hands. These are the base of the pose. These are one of the most important things you could say. What, again, a lot of students seem to do is want to have all of their fingers facing forward. This can be okay if you have that openness in the shoulders, but again, a lot of us really don't. So a really helpful tip is just to gently rotate our fingers out. We want to think that our index finger is the only one pointing straight. The other fingers can be at a 45-degree angle, no problem. So let's get our index fingers straight, spread out those fingers nice and wide. Thumb not so much because we can overstretch that, but we just want to think that we have really strong contact with the floor. With our index fingers nice and straight, we lift ourselves up and we should feel that we can actually have more space across the chest. We also are able to spread the shoulders wider, allowing them to spread open and roll back down. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, many people are focused on getting their heels to touch the ground, getting their legs nice and straight. But when we do this, if we have really tight hamstrings, which let's be honest, the majority of us do, our back becomes really, really rounded. And this is exactly what we don't want in a downward facing dog. We do not want a rounded back. Tip would be to bend the knees. Bend the knees as much as possible, allowing yourself to push that bum, those sit bones right up to the sky. And then you'll see how nice and straight my back becomes. Take a few breaths here. So we've got a nice soft bend in the knees. You can bend as deep or as little as works with your body today. Really thinking about opening out that chest, rotating our forearms in to each other. Our shoulders are going down away from our neck. And we breathe here. And that would be my tip number 3. So why not give these 3 simple tips a go and let me know how they work for you. Hopefully you'll see some improvements in your own downward facing dog. Now you've got the basics sorted, why don't you just have a play around in your body? See what's working for you. Maybe pushing yourself up from your child's pose, going into a little bit of a flow, rolling the spine forward, tucking under the toes, lifting our bottom up to the sky, bending the knee and playing with the depth of the bend in the knee, maybe a soft bend, just noticing what muscles are activated in a soft bend, bending them a little bit deeper. How much can you shoot that bottom up to the sky with a deeper bend in the knees? What about the energy that you have in your hands? Can you kind of relax down into them and then really push into the ground, lifting your shoulders away from your neck? Noticing the difference in the pose there. Maybe even shrugging your shoulders up around your neck, which a lot of us unconsciously will do due to the shoulder tension we have. And then thinking about creating that space between the shoulder and the neck. Again, really having a play in your own body today and just seeing what that pose brings you. So there you have it. Those are my 3 tips to improve your downward facing dog in just 5 minutes. Number 1, starting from child's pose to get the correct length in your posture. Number 2, lining up your index finger so it's pointing up straight and not worrying so much about the other fingers, allowing your chest and shoulders to spread and getting them to roll back and down your spine. And number 3 was bending those knees, changing the focus on having the legs straight and pushing the heels to the ground to actually lengthening out the spine. And over time, that flexibility will grow, the hamstrings will open and relax, and you will be able to touch the heels to the ground. And even if one day you never do, it doesn't matter. That's not the purpose. Thanks so much for watching and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Bye.